law of discipline, the law of divine purpose, the law of employment, the law of entanglement, the law of fertility, the law of hidden patterns, the law of humility, the law of investment, the law of mental capital, the law of obstacles, the law of parsimony, the law of quantum abundance. I guess you can use that, right? So quantum abundance.
Yeah.
The law of recession, the law of rising tide, the law of service, the law of the contract, the law of value. And listen here, I just turned right here to beingness. This is interesting. And in here in my new book on the laws of prosperity, it says here, action is the seed. Action is the seed that must be sown, and economic prosperity, that's money, property, business ownership, is the eventual crop you will reap. But prior to sowing, what does the wise farmer do? He prepares the soil. He makes it fertile by adding compost, fertilizer, nitrogen, manure, by letting the land rest and lie fallow for a season. He does all these things to ensure that the ground is fertile for what he intends to plant. This is the same process you must undergo as you work to retake control of your life crops and make it sustainable in good times and hard. Consider that what the farmer adds to his soil are called amendments. This is the same term used to describe addition to the U.S. Constitution. For example, the added passage that outlawed slavery was the 13th Amendment. So an amendment is that which promotes change. It does not bring about the change on its own, but it sets the stage for it. And see, that's one of the things that I think many people have become disillusioned about, because they thought the amendment to the Constitution would bring about change, not understanding it only sets the stage for it. You got to make the opportunity.
They have to take the action.
You got to take the action. No action taken, no result in the harvest. So, but it sets the stage for it, making the ground ready for planting of new ideas and a new future. With the system of God as your constitution, you must make the soil fertile and add your own amendments. So change will come into your economic life. When was the last time you had an amendment? When times are hard and you cannot see your way to immediate hope, fertilize the soil. Eventually, new growth will appear, but only if your ground is prepared. The law of fertility says when your immediate economic circumstances are dire, you must work to make the soil of your beingness fertile for new prosperity to take root. All right. So we want you to sow a seed today. When they want to do a $1,000 seed, I'm looking for 50. 7 came through on yesterday. I need 43 more. 212-316-2177. Okay, Prophetess Deborah, you want to come and explain? You and give Prophetess K their mic up there. And on Sunday, Prophetess Deborah had a situation, so she could not be with us on Sunday. And we began to discover the Spirit of the Lord had us to speak to one of our partners from out of Savannah, Georgia. in the process of that happening, the Holy Ghost, out of their 6 children, I believe it was, the Holy Ghost zeroed in on one and began prophesying. God spoke to me and said, get some clothing, and for the prophets to come through here and lay hands on it. You were in that service, weren't you, Prophet Kelly?
Yes, Master Prophet, I was.
Finish telling the rest of that story.
You began to speak to her about her child. This happened to have been the middle child who was undergoing some serious self-esteem issues. She was very concerned about her wardrobe. You began to speak about her wardrobe. She was very concerned. She didn't feel she had the proper attire to wear, and so she felt less than the other kids that were around her going to school, that type of thing. And you began to just really zero in on her out of all the other children. And this was the one she said that she had just finished praying for, asking God to help her, because she really realized she needed help more than any of the other children. And you began just to prophesy to this one, the one in the middle. Now, you know, the middle child has that middle child syndrome anyway. Well, this was compounded by what she felt she didn't have, and as far as clothing and how she was presented to, you know, to her world. And she was having a real struggle with that. And you began to minister. She was overwhelmed to the point of tears and crying. And she began to just thank God just for you ministering to her. Little did she know that anything else was going to come behind that. It wasn't like she was trying to get anything for the girl. She was really just, we just picked her out.
She was testifying about how her house was supposed to go.
Oh, yeah, yes.
It was in foreclosure.
In foreclosure, yes.
And was supposed to be auctioned off.
Yes.
And a miracle came in the last couple of days, and the auction was canceled.
Jesus.
And God began to move on in her life, and she was giving God praise and thanks. But then God zeroed in on these 2 children. Talked to her about the 2. We talked to her about an 8-month-old and a 3-year-old. I think it was. I think we talked to her about 2 of the children. We asked her something about 2 children. I believe it was. And then she says, no, I have 6. I says, and we went to the 2 youngers, to the 2 younger ones. And then we started moving up, and the Spirit, I was trying to find my notes. I got so many of these little books, but I have the wrong one today. And the Spirit began to move up and asked her about one that was having some difficulty in reading. Asked her about, I think we saw something there, and then found out that the child was 9.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Asked her about what?
It says something about age 10.
Yeah, and that she would be 10 this weekend
On
my anniversary. And so we said that we're going to purchase clothes for her to wear, and I think that's what made the mother kind of break down.
You told her that the daughter was having self-esteem issues.
Yeah, and that there was a problem with her wardrobe.
Right.
And that's when she opened up. Yes. So she's getting ready to have her own wardrobe as a start. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. And so we're going to take the prophets over here, and we're going to lay hands on these clothes here. So the company of prophets are going to be laying hands on these clothes here.
In the name of Jesus.
Prophetess Deborah, what do you think about this?
Master Prophet, this is so amazing and so excited. When I heard the news on Sunday night when you came in, this just blessed my soul to be able to do something to this for this young girl, because it's very important that we build healthy self-esteem in our young girls, because she one day become a mother, and she too wants to perpetuate that strong self-esteem attitude as well. So